I mean, bro,
Wait, can you just say that out loud?
people that are
We
like,
should show sympathy to.
I mean, over time, yes, bro. People can change.
Oh my god, bro.
I feel like that's not like that crazy.
The reason why you support the guy who's done nothing to reduce the gun epidemic when guns are the leading cause of death in our youth. The reason why you support the guy who illegally refused to abide by a court order to feed 16 million children, members of the youth. The reason why you support the guy who's exploited the youth and boasted about it on Howard Stern's radio show, saying that it was funny when he'd barge into the dressing rooms of little girls, is because you think that he protects children,
every president
i.e.
said
banning
some
abortion.
messed up things. I mean, Joe Biden said you can be just as smart as white kids. Like, I mean, like there's a lot of presidents that have said bad things.
Okay,
I mean,
wait 1 second. You're trying to deflect away from the argument which I'm giving you to clearly demonstrate your own hypocrisy by attempting to bring up Biden. I don't mind having a conversation with you about Biden. In fact, we should have a conversation about Biden after you legitimately address the points that I'm making right now in relation to Trump. Please and thank you.
But you just deflected right there because I was talking about a whole different subject, and then I say something about a different subject, and you say I'm deflecting.
Okay, I'll help you understand how what I said wasn't a deflection, because you said, I support Trump as president because he wants abortion to be banned, which ultimately would... Momo. I don't think that she's doing anything crazy. She's like digging in my closet. Ultimately, the reason why you think abortion should be banned is because you want to ensure that we're protecting our youth, okay? We're preventing babies from dying.
That's not what I said,
But I just find that notion to be so incredibly hypocritical to everything else that Donald Trump does and stands for.
I usually like to listen. You talk, but what you were talking about last guest, the Mormon dude, I didn't agree with what you said about nicotine, and if somebody or somebody develops lung cancer, they should not get access. That's what you're saying, because if they can't get access to abortion, you're trying to make an analogy, but it's kind of a falsity. Oh, I can't talk because I'm kind of nervous. But what I'm trying to say is, it's kind of false, because an abortion, there's a likelihood that they're not gonna die. But if you get lung cancer, most likely you're gonna die, so you have to go to the hospital.
Yeah, so we were to assume the same mortality rate, i.e., let's assume that the mortality rate of lung cancer is... Dude, oh my goodness, Momo. She's trying to eat everything. I just picked her up out of my closet, so she didn't eat the styrofoam in there. Now she's trying to eat the cord. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Now she's trying to eat me. Momo, you gotta chill. Anyways, to go back to what I was saying. So if we were to assume that the mortality rate of lung cancer was equivalent to that of pregnancy, 3 to 5%, would you argue that if a smoker were to develop lung cancer, that they should have an obligation to just suck it up and deal with it? Or should they be able to access chemotherapy at a hospital?
I mean, no cancer is going to be 3 to 5% though. So, I mean,
so it's assuming that the mortality rate of lung cancer was 3 to 5%. Do you think, okay, that people that develop lung cancer through smoking cigarettes should be able to access treatment at a hospital?
Are you sure mortality rate for pregnancies is 3 to 5? I think it's a lot lower, right? Or is it 3 to 5%?
It's 3 to 5%. It's historically been a lot higher, and it's around 4 times higher for black women than white women.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a completely different situation, because
okay, but you told me that the difference between the situations was the mortality rates. But now that we've accounted for that difference,
yeah, but there's like other,
you still just think it's a completely different situation.
Well, yeah.
But by the way, we're supposed to be debating on why you support Trump, not necessarily why you think an argument I gave to the last guest was.
No,
bad.
I was just curious about the last argument. I mean, why I support Trump is, I don't know. I just didn't really agree with the one thing. I'll go now. I usually just like listening to your lies. I just didn't agree with the last thing. But I don't really support Trump as much as I used to. But like, I still probably support him more than Kamala. Because like, you see why? I mean, I just didn't like. Did you see the Congress guy who just died, who passed, and they had a funeral, and like Kamala was like cracking jokes at her funeral? I was like, what the heck?
Are you talking about Jesse Jackson?
Yeah, did you see that? And then the son was like, don't make it political, and then they all were like saying political stuff. That was kind of crazy. You can't lie. So, that was a little bit crazy.
So what did she do that was crazy? I'm waiting.
She was like, I told you guys so, and like was like laughing and stuff. I was like, after Jesse Jackson's son was like, don't make it political.
So you saw her smiling at a funeral, and that's it?
No,
when Donald Trump rapes a woman, put him in the Oval.
She was making it political when Jesse Jackson's son asked before the funeral, don't make it political, please. Like, his wishes were, don't make it political.
What did she say that was political?
I'm not gonna lie, I told you guys so. And then like started laughing, talking about Trump and stuff.
The statement I told you
and then
guys
Obama
so
made it political as
that
well.
doesn't make sense. I'm going to need a quote of how she made it political.
I mean, you
was,
can
like,
look it up.
wrong.
I bet like a lot of it will come up. I mean,
Okay,
I'm
well,
surprised
I mean,
you
you're the one
haven't
making
seen
the
it,
claim, so you're gonna have to give me the quote. See, what I'm curious about here, and the reason why I'm asking you this question is because I would assume that you think like advancement of racial equality is a political thing when that's what he fought for the totality of his life. So clearly, somebody like Kamala Harris would bring that up. And what my supposition here is that you would probably hear her bringing up the advancement of racial equality, and then all of a sudden you think she's making it political, and then boom, comes down Kamala Harris. When in all reality, that's what he had dedicated his life to fighting for.
She might have said
that's why I needed to give me like a very specific quote here of what she said, because chances are it's going to be something super reasonable to say at the funeral of Jesse Jackson, and you're going to look like a dumbass.
She said, "I'm not gonna lie. I don't quote me on word for like the first part, because she was like, I'm not gonna lie, blank blank, but I told you so." Or she was like, okay. She was like, "I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
line of the game. Appreciate for the galaxy.
I'm not gonna say I told you so, but I told you so." And then laughed, and she was talking about like Donald Trump. She's making it political. But Jesse Jackson's son was like, "Don't make it political." And then like she started laughing. Like, I don't know, like maybe sometimes
I have no clue what you're referencing.
Laughing,
is it a bigger or smaller deal than going back to war in the Middle East?
I don't know. The Middle East, it's hard. It's because it's like,
is it a bigger or smaller deal than going back to war in the Middle East?
I don't know, because you got these.
You don't know? You don't know if like comments from Kamala Harris at a funeral or more or less meaningful than like 107 dead girls in an elementary school?
War is bad, but at the same time, it's like you got this regime going on, and you just.
I just feel like you're doing like the tan suit thing. It's like, oh, Kamala Harris said things that you think were out of place at a funeral. I would never support her. But when Donald Trump rapes E. Jean Carroll, meh. When Donald Trump admits to sexual exploitation, when Donald Trump sends us back into war in the Middle East and kills 107 girls, when Donald Trump like blows up oil refineries and depots, and then all of a sudden the sky's on blaze and oil's raining from the sky and Iranians are dying. When Donald Trump is like cooing our government, J6 having his supporters attempt to kill cops in the process of an attempt to RIG the outcome of the election. But Kamala Harris makes comment at a funeral. Boo! This is exactly why I can never support anybody on the left and why I have to support Trump. Like, it's just insane to me. Like, oh my God, please come to your senses. Be a sane, rational, normal person. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the comments made by Kamala Harris at Jesse Jackson's funeral. If I watch them in full context and I get the verification on the statement that Jesse Jackson's son would appreciate what she said, I could absolutely, say that was wrong for her to do. But I mean, it's almost as if you just have this tunnel vision where you exclude like the majorly bad, terrible, insane things that Trump does every single day, and then you hyperfixate on like this one kind of bad thing that Kamala Harris did this one time.
Yeah, I mean, why I didn't vote for Kamala, because I was old enough to vote for Kamala. I didn't vote for Kamala because I thought she was kind of like, I know Donald Trump did some racist things in like the 70s, but honestly, from some of Joe Biden's comments, and then her being like overly, what's the word?
Wait, you didn't vote for Kamala Harris because the black woman, because another white man is somebody that you think is racist?
No, I thought she was low-key racist because she was trying to change her voice. What is it? Over-accommodation. She was trying to over-accommodate everywhere she would go. She would
That's why you didn't vote for Kamala Harris.
No, that's low-key racist, though.
Bro,
like, you're trying to change who you are to be
this
more
is just
accepted.
so insane.
That's like the definition of racism, though.
Dude,
like
this
you're trying to change who you are to be more accepted. That's like a white girl trying to be accepted by another culture by talking a different way because she thinks she'd be accepted more. Like, be who you are. If you're being who you are, most likely that culture will accept you. But when that's why you see all these other races and these other cultures voted for Donald Trump, because Kamala was trying to over accommodate and talk in a different way, and it's proven that she's done that. And then you got Donald Trump that talks the same way.
Kamala, okay, so you're wrong. Kamala Harris got the vast majority of the non-white vote, so shut up and sit down. You also don't know what the hell you're talking about here. What it's called is code switching, which is something that many black people in America do because white people have deemed AAVE, African American Vernacular English, is bad, as uneducated, as ghetto, as crazy, as violent. I've even heard that one before. When AAVE is a perfectly valid vernacular of the English language, developed through the transatlantic slave trade in the early years of slavery in American history. But because of the suppositions of AAVE on behest of white Americans historically and today, of it being everything I just said, bad, ghetto, uncouth, uneducated, so on and so forth, many black Americans will only speak in AAVE when in a group of disproportionately black people, but as soon as they're not in a group of disproportionately black people, they don't want to have those suppositions be made about them, so then they stop talking in AAVE. And you are criticizing Kamala Harris from seeing her on stage at a rally in Atlanta where she had a disproportionately black audience, making her subconsciously feel comfortable in speaking in AAVE, compared to like a fucking rally in buttfuck middle of nowhere, Iowa, with a 95% audience, saying, oh, holy shit, if I speak in AAVE here, they're all going to think I am really uneducated, and I don't want them to think that because I'm running for president. And we're going to have to, call that racism out later, because right now I'm trying to save the fucking future of this country from a wannabe dictator who raped a woman, committed 34 felonies, and finds a new way to attack this country every day. All right? And even if we were to assume, 50% of my statement, I'm almost done. Even if we were to assume that I'm wrong and you're right, and Kamala Harris was changing her accent to be more appealing to the audience, I would agree that's weird as fuck. Is that weirder than raping somebody? No. Is it weirder than implementing the worst economic reform we've seen in modern American history, taking healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans? No. Is it weirder than being in the Epstein files and defying Congress and breaking federal law to illegally hide files accusing you of child rape? No.
My thing with the Epstein files is right now, they're just accusations. We don't know for sure, because we had Bill Clinton. He did his deposition, and Hillary Clinton, but Bill Clinton's deposition, in his deposition, he said that they were acquaintances. That's it. And then they had a falling out over a land dispute. So we don't know.
So would you argue, if you knew with certainty that Donald Trump had sexually exploited or raped anyone, that you'd stop supporting him?
I mean, if you're talking about the civil case, I really don't think there's a statute of limitations. I mean, for it to be a 30-year long, and then you want to try to bring it up in court.
You're not answering my question.
It's hard for me to...
If you knew with certainty that Donald Trump had sexually exploited or raped anybody, would you still support him as president?
Obviously not.
Okay. So we're going to go over the civil case and how you're wrong about that. We're going to go over the Epstein files and how you're wrong about that. But before we do, I'm going to operate off of that last suggestion that you made. You said if you knew with certainty that Donald Trump had sexually exploited anybody, you would stop supporting him as president. Can we agree that the definition of sexual exploitation would be to unjustly take advantage of somebody sexually?
Yeah, without their consent.
Would an example of unjustly taking advantage of somebody sexually be for a man in a position of power to take advantage of a woman's position of vulnerability to further unconsensual sexual conduct?
Yeah.
Like barging into a dressing room made for women that you own, right? To then
but
right?
Were they naked,
and
were they
naked with no clothes on. Yeah, no clothes on. And this is actually something that Donald Trump has done and admitted to.
As the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right, I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
So don't even start talking yet, because I'm going to describe to you the two paths that exist in front of you. The first path is to take the red hat off, retract your loyalty from Trump, and say that you no longer support him. Why? Because you said, and I quote, if he sexually exploited anybody, you'd stop supporting him as president. You then accepted that the definition of sexual exploitation is to take advantage of somebody sexually unjustly or without consent. And then you accepted that a male owner of a beauty pageant barging into the dressing rooms made for the women and girls at that beauty pageant to then look at their naked bodies unconsensually would be unjustly taking advantage of them sexually. Therefore, it would be sexual exploitation. Therefore, Donald Trump did admit to sexual exploitation. Therefore, you know with certainty that Donald Trump engaged in sexual exploitation. Therefore, you're no longer a Trump supporter in accordance with your own argument. Now, the second path that you have here would be to be a raging, spineless, brainless hypocrite, annoy me, annoy us all. Say, you still support Trump. Come up with some lousy excuse like, okay, Dean, I don't support his personality, but I do support him as president. Or, okay, Dean, well, actually, I don't really think that's too wrong. Do we know that they're naked? Even though he said they had no clothes on. And don't worry, I'll be able to destroy you there too. Now, I've actually learned throughout doing my debates that the most Oh my goodness, Momo's being so cute. That the most effective and productive way to manage this situation is to just give you a moment to genuinely, ow, fuck, Momo, she's eating me, is to genuinely think about it. Because I feel like when I'm just passing that mic straight away, your gut reaction is to stay in debate mode and try
Well, could I ask a question
and just
without
trying
like?
to come up with a reason why I'm wrong. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. She's biting me.
She's a Trump supporter, bro.
But so just take a moment, think about it, and I'm gonna thank a couple people real quick. The mic goes back to you guys. Are you gonna take path number 1 or path number 2?
Well, I was just gonna ask a question. Like, it doesn't mean I fully.
Go ahead.
It doesn't mean like I fully agree with it yet. I just have one question. Did they have like? Did people in the beauty pageant? Did they come out and say that he did this?
Yes.
See, why didn't they follow a lawsuit or file a lawsuit on her? Did they?
Why is that relevant?
I mean, a rich person. Like, because my thing is with this, with what Donald Trump said and only what Donald Trump said is, I look at it as like, he said some pretty messed up things right there, but I don't feel like he was being truthful. Like, bro, you know how many times, like when I was younger, bro, I lied about like having sex with a girl, like to my boys, like,
yeah, you
like just like kissing a girl.
Listen, that's embarrassing. Like, that's really embarrassing for you.
It's just
however,
locker room
it's
talk,
it's
bro.
not a
Like,
it's not even locker room talk. It's just like weird antisocial behavior, misogynistic too. But anyways, the reason why a lot of men will lie about sleeping with a woman is to attempt to make themselves look more valuable on the social hierarchy. By saying, hey, this really attractive woman wanted to have sex with me. This really attractive woman wanted to kiss me. This really attractive woman wanted to be with me. And for that reason, like when we hear men boast about, like, are claiming that they've had sex with a woman that in all reality they didn't. Okay, they're doing so in the sense of like, consensually. They're saying they're doing so in the sense of saying, well, they wanted to sleep with me. I've never really heard a man like falsely claim to like rape a woman or sexually exploit a girl when in all reality they were innocent and they didn't do it. And I'd feel like
yeah,
that's
bro. Like,
the big
honestly, I don't
difference
know
between what Donald Trump said he was doing in that clip and like what would be more typical from like expecting like maybe like shitty men to like lie about falsely claiming to
I mean, when you're saying
slept with
shitty
women when
men,
in
like
all
that's
reality
like
they didn't.
15, 14, middle school. Like you said the N-word. I never said the N-word in my life. Like there's I was like 14, 13. Okay, so like you can't say like I'm a shitty person.
We're talking about your claim that a 60-year-old man did this.
I know, but you don't have to come at my character, okay? Like,
if your character feels personally under attack because I'm saying only shitty men claim to have slept with women that in all reality they didn't, then that's on you, not me.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm a grown ass man now. I'm fucking 20, bro. You think I'm doing that shit? Like I was like in middle school.
Right,
like,
so even you could acknowledge that it's a very immature little boy thing.
I mean, it's an immature thing, but like, he might have been doing it. I mean, he might have been doing it. Like, I don't know.
Well,
That's
once
why,
again, the reason why we know that that's not what he was doing is because the reason men do that is to make themselves look more important. But, Momo, I gotta kick you out of the office. She's trying to swing my light. Is to make themselves look more important, okay, by telling other people that this really attractive woman wanted to sleep with him. But when Donald Trump says that he engaged in these sexual actions with him without their consent, he's not saying, excuse me, that this really attractive woman wanted to sleep with him. Therefore, we just categorically can't argue that this is what he'd be doing in that circumstance. Can you please give me one other circumstance of a cocky, egotistical, pompous freak falsely claiming to have sexually exploited a woman and girl, or when in all reality they're innocent?
How old were they? Like, I know it sounds bad, but like if they were 16, like it's weird, but like it is like low key legal, isn't it? Like if they're 16 plus in some states. It's weird, but like at the same time, it's like I see like 20-year-olds right now, my age, dating like 17-year-olds. Like it's weird, but it's just like, you know, it is what it is. You know? I'm not trying to sound like, you know what I mean? Like it is what it's a weird thing. Like that's just what the world is. Like, do I want my president dating? But like at the same time, was Kamala Harris that much better? Not really. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're just a disgusting fuck. So first and foremost, for you to suggest that a 60-year-old man raping a 16-year-old girl is weird, but it is what it is. Yes, raping, because 16-year-olds can't consent to sex is what it is strange as hell, and you are a goddamn red flag for
You didn't tell me they were having sex.
I understand that in some states, okay, it is the case that 16-year-olds legally can consent to sex, but that doesn't mean that they can actually consent to sex. In all states in which would allow a 16-year-old to engage in sex... with no repercussions for the other party, given that they're like 20, 30 years old, okay, are just legalizing rape. That's all that it is. So in consideration of your prior suggestion that, oh, because it's legal, it is what it is, and it's not really that wrong, you're basically saying that because the law thinks that they could consent, because the law wants to legalize rape, that therefore the rape's not that big of an issue, which is fucking nuts, if you ask me. Now going on to the second thing here,
Bro,
well, regardless of what age
this?
they were, shut up, regardless of what age they were, their age doesn't matter. They could have been 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, because none of them, even those over the age of 18, that could have consented to Trump looking at them naked, didn't consent. He barged into the dressing rooms to then look at their naked bodies. You freak.
Okay, first off, there was no thing about rape. I didn't hear anything about rape.
You brought up the concept of how they could consent, which would apply to somebody looking at their naked body or engaging in sex with them.
Yeah, that's messed up. But my thing is also, weren't the parents like, okay, when you're at a beauty pageant, like, you're not there by yourself. Aren't the parents, like, I remember watching Dance Moms. All the moms were in there with the kids getting ready. And then, like, Abby Lee Miller would come in. Like, weren't all the moms there?
Okay, so now that your claim is that the parents of the children were just also culpable in the sexual exploitation of their children at the hand of Trump?
No, what I'm saying is, if your parents are there, then, like, what do you think? I mean, if the parents are there...
Oh, say it out loud. So you think that the parents could consent to an older man sexually exploiting their children?
I think sometimes you guys, I mean, maybe, I don't know
you
why.
You just think that, like, child is just completely fine if it's the parent who is recording.
No, that's messed up.
Wait, but you just suggested that parents could consent to older men looking at their children while they're naked.
I just don't get why he did that. Like, honestly, like, he's like a billionaire, bro. Like, what's he got with kids, bro? Like,
oh, yeah.
Obsession with that.
Yeah, he's a billionaire, therefore it never happens. Now say the same thing about dating Jeffrey Epstein.
No, I'm saying, like, I don't get where he was coming from. I think maybe he made a mistake and now he's, like, more of a Christian. I mean, that was in 2009,
okay, so you're actually
2008.
admitting that this is something that he has done.
Yeah, but just like, bro, like,
everybody makes mistakes. So you
That's
agree?
What I'm saying, like,
so you've sexually exploited little girls too?
Bro, don't hit me with that. Bro.
Wait, why? You just responded to Donald Trump sexually exploiting little girls by saying everyone makes mistakes. Okay, so yeah, you understand how insane it is to respond to Donald Trump sexually exploiting a little girl by saying, everybody makes mistakes. Now I want you to sit down and I want you to stop interrupting me while the real man speaks. I'd really appreciate it if you just pipe down here for a moment, because here's what we have to go over. You told us that if Donald Trump had sexually exploited anybody, you would stop supporting him as president. You are now conceding that Donald Trump has sexually exploited women and girls, but arguing it's a mistake, everybody makes them, and we should just move on, forgive and forget. So let's be clear here. You are walking back your previous ideological suggestion that if you knew Donald Trump had engaged in these actions, you would stop supporting him as president, right? You are walking that back, correct?
Okay, see, my thing is, when was this this podcast recorded with that one dude with the curly hair? When was it? Because, like, I feel like it was in 2005. That's when, around the time when he stopped being friends with Epstein. And while my thing is, what Donald Trump did is wrong. I'm not gonna, but I feel like he's actually became a better person. Like, he's just, there hasn't been anything else coming out about it. Like, I'm not saying his past is perfect. He's never gonna be the best guy in the world.
Okay,
but you could dig up everybody's past. I'm not saying his past is bad. His past is bad.
So check this out. Sexual assault is never a mistake. Okay, you're sitting here acting if it's just some small little mistake he made in his past, like, oh, he changes a person. Okay, are you ever gonna? Okay,
but it's
so let me know when you're done, so I can speak without you interrupting me. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, but I was just kind of like comment on, like, we can't say like, okay, sexual assault is a mistake. It's a big mistake. It's honestly, like, almost unforgivable. But when people want to change and, like, do better for society, like, you got to come up and be like, hey, like, what they did was bad. We're not going to ignore what they did. But, like, if they're trying to do better, we can forgive them as time goes on. I mean, bro, you can say, like, it's not a mistake, but it can be a mistake. People can mess up. And then people can also change their lives. Like, you can't say
so then say it
like,
out loud.
if you said,
okay, he's still going. Wow.
No, because I feel really emotional about it. Because you can't just say one person making mistakes.
I know
should never
you
be
feel
forgiven.
really emotional about saying that we should never forgive pedophiles. I know you were fighting for pedophiles.
I mean, I'm not fighting for pedophiles that are just like constantly doing it, but when people mess up, bro, I'm not saying you forgive them right away. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I don't know if a pedophile messes up and rapes a kid. Oopsie doopsie.
What did you say?
You know, if a pedophile messes up and rapes a kid.
I mean, I feel like R-wording somebody.
You know, like they messed up. Gotta forgive them.
It's not really like that. You don't. I mean, when somebody murders somebody, you're not gonna like forgive them right away, but you're gonna show sympathy towards them.
Oh yeah, now you're saying that we should show sympathy to pedophiles. Really?
I mean, bro.
Wait, can you just say that out loud?
People that are
we should show sympathy to pedophiles.
I mean, over time, yes, bro.
Oh my fucking god, bro.
I feel like that's not like that crazy. I feel like you're able to forgive somebody. You don't have to fully forgive them. I mean, there's business owners that give them a second chance. Like, people deserve a second chance. They messed up fully, bro. But like, just to say, like, bro, do you think people are calling you still racist for a mistake you made when you were little, bro?
I can't hear a
like,
single word that this fool is saying.
I mean, like, so business owners giving people that were on the sex offender list a second chance of giving them a job. Do you think that's messed up?
Yes.
Really? You think, bro, people should not give you a second chance for saying the N-word, bro?
I don't think that me saying the N-word at 14 to a white friend is the same as a pedophile raping a child.
Bro, you're telling me if you said it on a camera, you're saying you only said it one time? Like, obviously you did, but you were definitely saying the hard R, bro.
I was not saying the hard R.
Bro, you can say you were saying the hard R, bro.
Do you think that that's, like, at all, like, categorically equivalent in the slightest to a pedophile?
Yeah, I think if you say the N-word, you're a piece of shit, in my opinion, bro.
You think that those two things are the same thing?
Yeah, bro, and I forget people that say the N-word as well.
Oh my god,
bro! If you don't think, bro, do you know how much a word can, like?
There's only one conclusion that I could yield here, and I don't think I could say it out loud.
What? Just say it, bro.
I think that I could telepathically communicate with every single person watching this stream the one conclusion that we could possibly yield from somebody saying that we should hold sympathy for pedophiles, that we should forgive people for raping children.
You're not, bro. You are not. Well, you were changing.
You know, a pedophile raping a child was just as bad as me calling one of my white friends the N-word at 14, and, you know, everyone forgave me. I can't say it out loud. You all know what I'm thinking. Holy shit.
Can I respond
this
to what
is
you're saying?
Crazy. I cannot sit down. I cannot believe that this is where MAGA is at. This should, like, oh my goodness. I'm lost for words. You guys rarely see me lost for words. Let me try again. This should send the alarm bells ringing. Because of Trump, because of their cover-up of the Epstein files, because of his past with raping E. Jean Carroll, being credibly accused in the files and boasting about sexual exploitation, we now have Trump supporters arguing that we should hold sympathy for pedophiles, forgive child rapists, and in all reality, it's not that bad. This is one of the main reasons, why we need to get Trump out of office at once. The moral fabric of this country is on the line. Donald Trump is emboldening attitudes of apologetics for predators. Donald Trump is emboldening attitudes of taking the mask off. It's not that bad. We should have sympathy for them. And it's terrible. It's just so draconian and insane to me. Like, this shit's like a level 10 emergency that we need to fix.
Can I please respond? Because I feel like you're twisting my words.
Predators should never have power over their prey. And quite frankly, I would say that this is a sin that we should never forgive. Not only because with forgiveness comes accountability and change. And I don't think people like that can change because they simply lack core fundamental moral virtues and which are required to care about others. And B, I kind of think that the punishment for people guilty of child rape should be death. If I think that you should die, I don't think you should ever be forgiven.
I'm not saying you have to, like, completely forgive them. I'm saying there's chances, like, bro, people mess up all the time, bro. There's child offenders that change their whole fucking life after they get out of prison, bro. And they're the best person ever. I'm not saying the survivor or people have to forgive them. Oh, you have to forgive them or you're a shitty person. But you can forgive them. Like, they're not like just like people develop. Even at 50, you can develop your mind in 20 years. Like, you can be a whole different person.
Have you ever heard
in 20
anybody
years.
say that Jeffrey Dahmer just messed up?
No, because it was multiple times, bro.
Have you ever heard anybody say that Hitler just messed up?
No, bro. He killed multiple people. It's not like just a one time.
Have you ever heard anybody say that Mussolini just messed up?
Who?
Mussolini.
I don't even know who that is, honestly.
Yeah, you have no fucking clue because you're an incompetent idiot. But anyways, the reason why you haven't heard people say that classically bad people didn't just mess up is because we understand that beyond a threshold, when you intentionally engage in an action that is so perverse and generates so much lifelong harm, it's not a mess up. And in fact, calling it a mess up undermines and erodes the wrongness associated with the action. That's why you'll never hear anybody say that Dahmer just messed up, that Epstein just messed up. You'd probably say that Hitler just messed up. So when you say that child rapists are just messing up by raping children, what you're telling us is that you don't really think it's that wrong, that it's that bad.
I think it's wrong, but I think every action has a ability to be forgiven if there's change over time.
So if I literally put your full fucking family through a wood chipper and then
I never said the survivor has to forgive, bro. The survivor had to.
Would you say that it was just a mess up? That I messed up?
What?
If I put your whole family through a literal wood chipper in front of your face, would you say I just messed up?
No.
Clearly. Why? Because it's really wrong, like really wrong, to put your whole family.
Yeah, you're killing multiple people at a single time.
And I think that like putting your whole family through the wood chipper, killing multiple people, exists in the same category as child rape.
But my thing is, it's not a mess up. What Donald Trump did wasn't a mess up. Do you agree that
child rape is like literally like one of the worst, if not the worst things that one person could do to another?
No, I think it's the worst thing somebody can do.
So then why the hell are you calling it a mess up?
I didn't mean, maybe it's a bad word of a phrasing. It's not a mess up. It's something you did completely wrong. But I'm saying you have a chance to be forgiven over time. But that doesn't mean everybody has to forgive you. That's not what I'm saying.
All right, we're just going to move on to the next guest.